Joined by Gareth and Adrian here at BMO Field. It was Toronto FC's final home game of the regular season. Unfortunately, they fell by a score of 2-0 to the Columbus Crew. It was a very quick turnaround for the Reds, having a game played on Wednesday, whereas Columbus Crew came into this very well rested, having 2 weeks off.
Yeah, and coming off back-to-back losses, it was a big game for the Columbus Crew, and Toronto FC just labored throughout today's game, really from start to finish. And Greg Vanney was forced to make 4 changes to his starting 11, and they just lacked fluidity. And Greg, you could see him just searching for something throughout the match. They actually played 4 different formations over the course of today's game, just trying to find something that would work for this team. Look, they had their chances. Robbie Finley went off the post. There were chances to be had throughout this match, but in the end, the physical presence of the Columbus Crew just overmatched Toronto when push came to shove.
It kind of reminded us of that NYCFC game here earlier in the season. Very physical. It didn't allow Toronto FC to get anything going.
Yeah, but I don't take that for the performance that I saw from TFC today. You have to learn to be able to adapt. When you have a team that's coming in here knowing that it's going to be a physical game, the referee's not making the calls that you want him to make, you have to be able to transition and bring out the best out of your players. I think there was opportunities for them to really get into the game, but it was more of a retaliation than actually going out and getting what they deserved. This is not the performance that I think a lot of fans wanted to see from Toronto FC at home. Leading into this playoff push, they are looking for this home field advantage, so this is one that hopefully they can learn from and correct this upcoming game.
Well, I'll just say this, though, like some of those non-decisions or the decisions that were made by the referee had a profound effect on the game. The first half Columbus goal, Ethan Finley challenged Justin Morrow. I thought it was a foul on Ethan Finley. It was no call. Instead, it went out for a corner kick for Columbus, and they were able to capitalize off that corner kick. And that was kind of the story of the day. And you're bang on, Danielle. It really reminded me of that loss at home against New York City FC, where they specifically honed in on Sebastian Giovinco and were very physical against the player. And I guess that's the only way to stop him. But when he's not getting protection from the referee, it makes it very difficult for him to go out and do his thing. So credit the Columbus Crew for getting underneath the skin of Toronto FC. And Adrian's right as well. You need to have a better response than what they had.
I think the tougher goal to watch was the second one by Federico Higuain. He really bodied Justin Williams and just took him completely out of the play.
Yeah, and I'm sure most people are probably looking at that replay saying that was a clear foul, but it was an opportunity for Josh to go in shoulder to shoulder and just not really getting up to the challenge, and Higuain getting the better end of that and then finishing off with a world-class finish. It's one thing that, I think, and we reference back to that first goal, yes, Morrow got fouled, but there was still an opportunity for you guys to prepare yourself. Get ready for the corner kick. Make sure you're marking up your players and knowing your responsibilities, and I don't think they responded when they needed to respond to certain situations.
Given that Toronto FC had already clinched their playoff berth, Greg Vanney used this as an opportunity for some players to get some minutes.
Yeah, some of them were forced changes. It was good to see Michael Bradley back on the field, but Jonathan Osorio remains out after getting a ball in the face in Wednesday night's game. The other change is Kantari in for Perkis. We don't know if Damian Perkis is going to play again this season with a hamstring injury. Also, Robbie Finley checks back into the team. And the one which caught our attention was Joe Bendik starting in goal today over Chris Konopka. And Greg Vanney was very clear that he just wants to make sure that Joe Bendik gets some minutes in case you need to use them come playoff time. So it's a good issue to have 2 goalkeepers who are capable of being your number one. It was good to see Joe back out there today, and really, quite frankly, on both goals, neither were his fault whatsoever.
There's still so much jockeying that will go on in the Eastern Conference. We don't necessarily know how this is going to play out. Is Toronto FC going to get home field advantage? Are they going to get a bye? So much circumstances still left to play out. The next game on tap for Toronto FC and the last one of the season, the 401 Derby. We're all looking forward to that one. So we'll keep you updated with all of your interviews at torontofc.ca.